The Brewers bats have struggled against the Cardinals starters the first two games of this series. Ryan Braun and his teammates will have their work cut out for them today as they take on Adam Wainwright. The Cardinals offense, all they've done is pound out 27 hits in the first two games to take the first two games of this series. It's game 3 of this 4-game series. Brewers and Cardinals here on Fox. And hello, everybody. Justin Kutcher alongside Eric Karros. And Eric, these St. Louis Cardinals are off to a fantastic start. The best record in the National League, and a large reason is because of the starting rotation.
Well, the starting pitching has been great. And they're coming off a month of April where they had a league-best 2.15 ERA. And the last time the Cardinals had an ERA that low was in May of 1968. When you think of the starters, you think of Adam Wainwright. He's been great this year. 43 strikeouts already, only 3 walks, and has yet to give up a home run. He's been dynamite all year long.
As far as these Brewers are concerned, whenever you think about Milwaukee, you think about Ryan Braun. But there's a new player, a rookie shortstop, Gene Segura, who has the fans excited.
Well, he's an exciting player. He's a shortstop. He plays great defense. And talking to Ron Renicky, the Brewers manager, prior to the game, very excited about his offense. He's threes. And what I mean by that, he's hitting .333. He's got 3 doubles, 3 triples, and 3 home runs.
Well, here in Game 3, the Brewers are hoping to get a win. St. Louis has taken the first 2 games of this series. Game 3 is coming up when we come back here on Fox. Is closed. 67 degrees inside as we get set for this 3rd game of this 4-game series between the Brewers and the Cardinals. Today's starting lineup for the Cardinals brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Matt Carpenter will lead things off and play second. Carlos Beltran bats second and plays right field. Matt Holliday, who hit a monster home run last night, will bat third and play left. Alan Craig cleans things up and plays first. Yadier Molina, the catcher, will bat fifth. David Freese at third, bats sixth. John Jay will bat seventh and play center. Pete Cosmo will bat eighth and play short. And Adam Wainwright will pitch and bat ninth. The opening pitch is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. On the hill for the Brewers is the right-hander, Yovani Gallardo. On the season, 3-1, a 4.25 ERA, although his last 3 starts have been much better than his first few.
He's really good against the Pittsburgh Pirates in his last outing, and Ron Renicky hoping that he can build on that. For him to build, he's got to control that curveball so hitters just aren't sitting on that fastball. And more important for me than anything, he's got to forget who he's pitching against today. He has been absolutely abysmal against the St. Louis Cardinals in his career. 1-11.
Those numbers against the Cardinals include the postseason, a 6.86 ERA. Matt Carpenter will lead things off. 287, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs on the season. And Gallardo's first pitch, a fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. This is actually a rematch. Yovani Gallardo and Adam Wainwright of the game back on April 13th. Carpenter the other way. That'll slice out of play. And it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes. In that outing, Gallardo went 5 1/3, 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. Did not walk a batter, but struck out 3. Carlos Beltran waits on deck. As far as Wainwright, all he did was throw a complete game shutout. Line drive center field. There's Carlos Gomez, 1 away. The defensive alignment for the Brewers brought to you by Scott's, official lawn care company of Major League Baseball. In the outfield from left to right, Ryan Braun, Carlos Gomez in center, Narishka Aoki in right field. Around the horn in the infield, Alex Gonzalez at first, Ricky Weeks at second, Gene Segura at shortstop, Idieski Betancourt at third, and Martin Maldonado is behind the plate. Carlos Beltran, in his second year here with the Cardinals, signed before last year as a free agent. His numbers this year, 294, 8 home runs, 19 RBIs. He may be one of the better free agent signings of the past couple of years.
Yeah, just a very consistent player. You know what you're going to get. Never seems to be in a real slump.
Off-speed pitch pulled to first. Gonzalez will take to the bag himself. 2 up, 2 down here in the first. Matt Holliday last night, after a pitch missed outside, he crushed this to center field. I mean, that was hammer. And the amazing thing is, during batting practice, he hit one off the Pepsi sign out there on the center field scoreboard. And Mike Matheny, his coach, thought he was going to get a motorcycle. There are 3 motorcycles out there. He thought he was going to hit one.
And you know, Matt Holliday, really not known as a power hitter. He's not a guy that's going to hit you 40 home runs or 35, any of that. He is just, he's a very, very good right-handed hitter that when you make a mistake, as evident last night, he can make you pay.
Fastball on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Holliday. Alan Craig on deck, still looking for his first home run of the year, but he's still been very productive with those 20 RBIs. And Holliday, those numbers are very consistent with what he's done virtually against anybody. In the dirt, 2 balls and a strike.
You see Mike Matheny there on your right, Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach, who's done a masterful job.
Gallardo's 2-1. Ground ball, second base. Easy play for Ricky Weeks. And a perfect 1-2-3 for Gallardo. No runs on no hits. Nobody left on base. No score in the Brewers coming up. Lineup for the Brewers brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Aoki will lead things off. Gene Segura will bat second. Ryan Braun in the 3-hole. Yuniesky Betancourt will bat cleanup. Ricky Weeks bats fifth. Carlos Gomez will bat sixth. The bottom third, Martin Maldonado, Alex Gonzalez, and a very good hitting pitcher in Yovani Gallardo facing a very good pitcher in Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, and really that's an understatement when you talk about a very good pitcher. Been very consistent, wins big games, really the ace of this staff. For him to be effective today, he's got to keep Segura off base. Couple reasons there. He's right in front of Braun, and he is not afraid to run. Segura is. Pretend it's April 13th. You mentioned earlier he went up against these Brewers on that date. Had a great game. 4 hits, 12 strikeouts, and on top of that, 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs.
And no walks. And the first pitch fastball misses down low to Norichika Aoki. And there is the line from that complete game shutout. 1-0, line back up the middle, base hit.
But you know Adam Wainwright is going to be around the plate. Aoki gets a nice pitch out over the plate, nice and smooth. You see the head right on it, the hips start to clear. Follows that bat right through the zone. And you see that bat just heading towards the pitcher, continuing out through center field. Nice base hit. And
here is Gene Segura. A very, very good first month of this 2013 season. You mentioned all those threes, 333, 3 home runs, 3 doubles, 3 triples, 11 RBIs, and oh yeah, he's 8 for 9 on the bases. Look over to first base. Aoki is back in standing up. Aoki 4 for 7 stolen bases on the year.
Now, this will also be an interesting matchup. The Milwaukee Brewers leading the major leagues in stolen bases. You've got Yadier Molina, the best defensive catcher in baseball, behind the plate. Shuts down running games. I will say this, the Brewers had 2 stolen bases last night.
In the air to right center field. John Jay on the run. Looks up. Gone. Segura with his 4th home run of the year gives Milwaukee the 2-0 lead.
But he gets a fastball out over the plate, and ironically, prior to the game, we're talking to Ron Renicky and said he likened Segura very much to second baseman for the Angels, Howie Kendrick, and raved about his right center field power. There you see it, fastball away. And I am so glad we talked about him in the open. Wow.
Now Ryan Braun steps in, and he takes the first pitch breaking ball for a strike. Well, you know what happened with that home run? He screwed up your whole threes theory. Now he has 4 home runs.
4 home runs.
No longer batting .333.
Screwed up the Adam Wainwright 0 home runs. Segura threw a wrench in everybody's game.
The 0-1 to Ryan Braun. Fastball is low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Braun, it's funny, you say he's kind of starting to heat up, but here he is, 302, 7 home runs, 23 RBIs. He's just consistently very, very good. Curveball drops in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Braun, runner-up last year to the MVP to Buster Posey. And the first inning has been very kind to Milwaukee this year. Now plus 18 here with that 2-run home run. The 1-2. Fastball is low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wainwright's 2-2. Got Braun chasing for the first out of the game for the Brewers.
It was just a low fastball out of the zone. See, not even a strike, but expands Ryan Braun right there. Ryan Braun, the one thing Ron Renicky told us prior to the game, he's striking out a lot more often this year. You know, and that's something that, again, is not typical, at least at this rate. 28 strikeouts, I believe, coming into today for Braun.
With Yuniesky Betancourt hitting behind him here as he's the cleanup hitter. I wonder how much of that is Braun just kind of being over anxious, not having the protection that he's had maybe in years past.
Well, and that's one of the cases. Although, you know, you look back at last year, you know, the absence of Prince Fielder for the first year, and he goes out and hits over 40 home runs.
Hanging breaking ball, single to left field for Betancourt. Three of the first four batters have reached here against Adam Wainwright in the first. A leadoff single by Aoki, two-run homer by Segura, and now the single by Betancourt. And Ricky Weeks will step to the plate, hitting 192 with 2 home runs and 9 RBIs on the year. Fastball in the outside corner, no balls and 1 strike. Carlos Gomez has been on fire to start this year. The 0-1 to Weeks. Good pitch on the inside corner with the fastball. 0-2.
Weeks looking out over the plate. Wainwright runs this fastball in. That's a great pitcher's pitch. Now you've got him set up for both sides of the plate. As a hitter, you've got to just widen your stance and just try to protect, make contact.
The 0-2 goes to a breaking ball, misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yadier Molina going through the signs.
Is he going to go back outside?
1-2, got him looking. Second strikeout of the inning for Wainwright.
Well, he just laid off of an off-speed pitch on the prior pitch. Wainwright went out there again. This time got a corner of the plate. Bill Miller rung him up.
Time for the Own Your Space pitcher profile, brought to you by Avis. Wainwright in his career here in Milwaukee, coming into today 4-4, 2.57 ERA. And Carlos Gomez at the plate, 2 outs, runner on first, 2 runs in, and a big swing and a miss at the curveball.
Gomez not wasting any time. He's up there swinging for the fences, and Wainwright pulls a string there on an off-speed pitch.
On the outside corner, no balls and 2 strikes. Carlos Gomez, 367, 5 home runs, 11 RBIs, and he also has 7 stolen bases already this year.
Having a great season, very selective, at least as compared to other years.
Wainwright's 0-2. Line the other way. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. It's been all or nothing for Wainwright here in this first inning. Yeah, 4 base hits and 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, didn't really understand that right there. You just gone outside on the corner for 2 pitches. You got him 0-2. I think what they were trying to do is elevate in that situation, but that pitch was just right down the middle of the plate. You know, take a look at where Molina's set up, and I think he wants it up in the zone, and that pitch just out over the middle part of the plate, maybe a bit outer half, but for an 0-2 pitch there, you've got to come out of the zone, especially with a free swinger like Gomez.
So Martin Maldonado getting a chance today behind the plate. He steps in, 2 outs with 2 men on, a 2-0 ball game already here in the first. Comes up swinging, fouls the first one back. No balls and 1 strike. Adam Wainwright in his last 2 starts has allowed 5 hits in each start. The Brewers have 4 hits in this first inning.
And you just figure, look at this starting staff, as we mentioned at the top of the show, for the month of April, a collective 2.15 ERA. That's not going to continue. There are going to be some bumps in the road. You know, and they deserve to have some off games.
Breaking ball misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And this Brewer team can swing the bat, especially at home. You know, they're not up there looking for walks. They're going to go up there, try and put the bat on the ball. They have some very good hitters.
The 1-1 from Wainwright. Another curveball. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's been his best pitch in this first inning.
Yeah, it really has. That curveball about 75 miles an hour on the outer part of the plate. You know, it's 2 things. It's breaking off the table, so you're changing at least the eyesight level, but also the difference in velocity. Fastball about 90. That pitch 15 miles slower.
The 1-2. Missing low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Do you go back to the curveball here?
I'd stay away. I'd go curveball or a slider, but I got to get out over the plate. Again, my job as a pitcher is to expand the plate, to make the hitter swing at pitches that are off the plate, just like he did against Ryan Braun. Now, I'd like to see Molina get out there just a little further.
22 pitches so far in this inning for Wainwright. Having to labor through. Another 2-2. Curveball pulled foul, third base side. The defense here lined up pretty much straight away for the Cardinals, with Maldonado at the plate, runners on first and second, and 2 outs. Another 2-2, broken bat, little flare. Nice play by Craig, but not in time with Wainwright covering. That's just one of those fluky plays. A late break by Wainwright because the bat shattered by him.
Yeah, very difficult play for the first baseman and also for the pitcher because he's running beyond the throw. So he's got to turn his left shoulder back and at the same time try and find the bag. Catches it now, looks, and just isn't able to beat Maldonado.
You can see that hesitation there by Wainwright, letting the bat go by. And normally a pitcher will find the bag easily, but again, like you said, the throw is coming different angle.
Yeah, I mean, ideally right there, you'd like to be a left-handed pitcher because you can keep running. You don't have to turn back. You got the glove. It's almost like you're being led across the middle on a football pass or something like that. But in that situation, he had to turn and look back and pick up Craig. Couldn't pick up the bag as well.
The 8th batter of the inning at the plate, and Alex Gonzalez. The bases are loaded, 2-0. Brewers up on top. And the first pitch fastball is low and outside for ball 1. The 2 outs, both strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 looking. And losing the bat on that swing is Gonzalez, 1 ball and 1 strike.
See a fastball, and Gonzalez just loses that thing. Get a little more pine tar there.
The 1-1 curveball in the hole. Cosma goes to second, and they get the out. Beautiful play by Pete Cosma. With the bases loaded, 2 outs, Pete Cosma deep in the hole. His only play is to second. Carpenter got to the bag, and they were just able to beat Maldonado. 2-0 Brewers after 1.
Maybe. Yeah, you see Maldonado. Look where he is on the leadoff there. I mean, you take that sort of lead if you're being held on right there, and then boom, you know, he goes to steal the base or goes to run, and what happens? Gone. Doesn't get the throw, or doesn't beat the throw at second base. If he's got a bigger lead at first, he beats that throw at second, run scores, inning's still alive.
And you could see the emotion as we went to break by Adam Wainwright of getting out of that inning with just those 2 runs coming across. That's a victory in its own right for Wainwright and the Cardinals. The 0-1 to Alan Craig. Fastball is outside. This is the reaction.
Yeah, he knew he escaped a big one right there. I mean, Cosma makes a great play. Great throw to get the force out. But again, I go back to Maldonado, and I understand he's a catcher, but you got to get a better lead over at first when you're not being held on.
Hanging breaking ball into left center field. Craig takes a wide turn, and he will hold up at first base. Time now for our forward keys to the game. Mr. Karros, what do you have?
Well, if you're the Cardinals, you got to remember that you've had a lot of success against Gallardo, and that's why, you know, Wainwright getting out of there with just 2 runs. I mean, the Cardinals are thinking, yeah, we're going to get this guy. The Brewers have to get some production from that number 4 spot. They are one of only 2 teams in Major League Baseball that yet to have a home run from that 4 spot. The other one being the Kansas City Royals.
The leadoff man on base here in the second for the Cardinals, and Yadier Molina steps to the plate. First pitch fastball on the outside corner for a strike, and Molina picking up where he left off last year with some big time numbers. .330 batting average, 2 home runs, 16 RBIs, and it looks like from when we saw him the first weekend of the season, he certainly changed his batting stance. Fouls it straight back. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, and guys will do that. You know, it depends on how you're feeling. Probably for me, as a player, the most notorious for changing his batting stance, Hall of Famer Cal Ripken. I mean, that he had all different kinds of stances. You know, they all seem to work too. but it has a lot to do with how you're feeling, your comfort level.
Checking the runner at first. But don't players usually change stances when things aren't going right?
Well, again, we don't know physically how he's feeling, if there's something going on. Maybe he sees the ball better. Maybe he doesn't feel right up at the plate. I mean, again, he's having a nice start.
0-2 popped up. Gonzalez at first base in foul territory, makes the catch, one away. Today's game presented by Budweiser is sponsored by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost and by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. One away now for David Freese. And Freese has that batting average up over 200. Was in a big slide entering this series. And picked up 2 hits on Thursday night, 2 hits last night, and now has the average up to 211. First pitch fastball misses up high for ball 1. Craig has not attempted a stolen base this year. Fastball's outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, and that's one of the differences between these two teams is the ability to steal bases. I mean, the Cardinals basically are a station-to-station team. You know, if they do run, it's usually because Mike Matheny will put the runners in motion, hit and run.
2-0 fastball, a little late on it. Fouls it back, 2 balls and 1 strike. It's hard to look at David Freese and not think back to the World Series against the Rangers and Game 6 and what he did there. That's something that will live with him forever, and he's very happy about that. 2-1 up the middle off the glove of Gallardo. Segura trying to get to the second, not in time. Good hustle by Craig. Now it's time for Lowe's Never Stop Improving Game Break. Let's go back to Matt Vasgersian in the studio.
Justin, the Orioles start play losers in 4 of their last 6, but Manny Machado doing his best to turn that around. Solo home run in the top of the first against Tommy Hanson. J.J. Hardy added his 4th the following inning, and the Orioles have an early lead in Southern California. Back to you and Eric.
What happens with Machado? J.J. Hardy hits a home run. He's at shortstop. Machado moves to third. Do you eventually move Machado to short, or?
Well, again, you know, it's Buck Showalter. He knows what he's doing over there. He's got to make his decisions, and you know, at some point probably, but right now that's what he feels is the best for that Baltimore club.
First and second, 1 away now for John Jay. And Jay takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Jay 230, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs on the year. In the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes.
You know, obviously a very important inning for Gallardo just because of the history he's had with the Cardinals. And I was reading in some clippings that, you know, he acknowledged that he is aware of, you know, his past with the Cardinals, his struggles. You know, to get out to a 2-0 lead against Adam Wainwright, you'd like to come right back and get your ball club in the dugout to hit again.
2-0 hit well to right center field. Gomez looking up. 3-run homer. And just like that, the Cardinals go back on top, 3-2. And again, how big was that play by Cosma to get out of the last inning?
Well, big by Cosma. You know, again, you look back at just the previous base hit there by Freese, where that easily could have been a double play. But again, this ball up in the zone, Jay just absolutely crushes it. You know, at some point you have to just take it upon yourself where you just look, this isn't happening anymore. And I'm speaking about Gallardo. You can't continue to make those sort of pitches. And I know he's not trying to do that, but you also mentally.
Cosmo right back to Gallardo, 2 away.
You know, mentally, when that double play doesn't happen, you've got to step off, collect your thoughts, and just say, all right, I'm stopping things right now. I'm stopping things right now. I'm going to make, I can't make, you know, and I just don't think, I think it's more of like oh, here we go again. Here we go again. I mean, look at this pitch. It's up. Look how high it is. I mean, you just get this ball in the air here, and it's going to fly.
The ball does fly out of this ballpark. Now Adam Wainwright, first pitch swinging. No balls and 1 strike. Breaking ball. Wainwright can't hold up. No balls and 2 strikes. Jay with that 3-run home run gives his team the 1-run lead. The 0-2 from Gallardo. Another curveball, another swing and a miss. Maldonado will throw down to first base, strike out 2-3, and that will do it here in the 2nd. But a missed opportunity for the Brewers. They can't turn a double play. The next batter, John Jay, 3-run homer, and it's 3-2 Cardinals. Pitcher this year, 2 home runs already. April 18th off of a pitcher that's not too shabby in Matt Cain. And then April 29th off of Wandy Rodriguez of the Pirates. And that ball was hammered. 2 home runs on the season. He's also got a double, hitting .286 this year. And now facing Adam Wainwright, trailing 3-2. First pitch is in there for a strike, going 1. I thought Gallardo said something to me yesterday that was very telling about being a good hitting pitcher. He said maybe it allows you to stay in the game an extra inning or 2 because they don't have to pinch hit for you in a certain situation.
Yeah, something to be said about that, but I'm not sure many managers would say, all right, I'm going to let my pitcher hit right here when I've got guys sitting on the bench. You know, the bottom line, if you're pitching well enough, he'll keep you in there.
2 balls and a strike here to Gallardo, leading off in the second. To right field, Carlos Beltran over a few steps makes the catch for the first out. Back to the top of the order now for Norichika Aoki. Singled and scored on a 2-run homer by Segura in the first. First pitch fastball in there for a strike to Aoki. No balls and 2 strikes. Oh, 2. Check his swing. Did he go? He did not, says Dale Scott. 1-2. We spoke about the importance of the last inning for Gallardo. How about the importance this inning here for Wainwright? Backdoor breaking ball just missing. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, one of the fortunate things, he had the pitcher leading off the inning. He puts him away. Obviously, getting ahead of Aoki was good, 0-2, but need to put him away. You don't want to go to Segura with a runner on.
2-2, and that hits him. Ooh.
That thing just seemed to keep running in. It got him on the left thigh. Just don't see that too often.
Today's game is presented by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. Here in the bottom half of the second, 3-2. Cardinals lead the Brewers. Justin Kutcher alongside Eric Karros. Gene Segura had the 2-run home run last inning. Hits with a man on base again. Swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike.
Well, and you see Wainwright throwing that cutter on the outer part of the plate there. You know, not breaking a lot, but just enough to miss a barrel of the bat.
One curveball, ground ball to short. Cosman a second for 1, over to first. A 6-4-3 inning ending double play. Wainwright responds in the second. We're through 2, 3-2 Cardinals. official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Top of the third, 3-2 Cardinals leading. Matt Carpenter leading things off. Takes the breaking ball for a ball from Yovani Gallardo. 1 ball and no strikes. Carpenter lined down to center field his first time up. The 1-0 pitch. Line to center field again. There's Gomez and 1 away. We are joined by starting pitcher for the Brewers, Kyle Loesch. Kyle was the starter last night for Milwaukee. And first things first, Kyle, what was it like, or what is it like, to face a former team?
It's tough, especially you've gone through as many things as I did over there in St. Louis. You win a world championship, and those guys become like family to you. And it's tough to face them. You just, it's our job to go out there and get them out now that I'm on the other side, and just try to block all that stuff out.
Kyle, well, here, I'll say it this way. When I was with the Dodgers, I was traded to the Cubs, and it was a kind of a joke where you get a year to be kind of bitter, and not necessarily bitter, but you know what I'm saying. Just kind of like, all right, is there some emotional component still when you face the Cardinals?
Not against any of the guys on that team. I'm out there trying to compete against them as hard as I would anybody else. I think in the back of your mind, knowing that coming off the year that I came off of, they didn't want anything to do with me.
Right.
It was a little difficult, but I'm happy where I'm at. We got a good club over here. I think we're starting to get healthy, so I think it's going to be a fun summer.
By the way, that year last year, 16-3 at 2.86 ERA. Carlos Beltran takes the breaking ball for a ball. What was it like throughout spring training and the offseason waiting to sign that contract? How do you stay sharp? How do you stay mentally sharp?
Played a lot of golf.
Good answer.
I think I'd had my routine where I'd go work out, get my throwing in. I think I thank the guys out there at Grand Canyon University and Scottsdale Community College. They let me come out and throw quite a bit to their hitters. Got my pitch count up there, but I think for my sanity, I had to go play a lot of golf. Kept my wife sane, I think, because I was driving her crazy, I think, too.
All right, so then the real question is, what's your handicap?
Right now, it's 1.1 index. So
okay, so you were playing a lot of golf.
Yeah. But we don't put scores in during the season. That's key, though.
So when you traded over, not traded, you signed with a new ball club. You're a veteran guy that's had a lot of success. What's it like when you come into this clubhouse, or how do you approach the other pitchers on the staff?
Well, it was really weird for me coming in. I signed was 25th or 26th of March, and I think we had 3 more days down there in Arizona, and then it was back up here. We had a couple exhibition games. It was really a get to know you period for even still. I'm still kind of getting to learn these guys, what makes them tick, what kind of pitches they throw in certain situations, stuff like that. And gone out and watched a lot of their bullpens and try to figure out what kind of stuff I can help with. I'm not a guy that's going to come up and tell you this is how you should do it. I will tell you how I do it and try to help guys figure it out. Maybe a little bit easier than it was for me, because it took me till I was probably 28 coming over with St. Louis, kind of to figure out what kind of pitcher I should have been all those years. And if I can help anybody out before that, I think it's something I'm more than happy to do.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Matt Holliday. That one was up and in. Holliday now walks around trying to gather his thoughts here. We are speaking with Kyle Loesch, one of the starters for this Milwaukee Brewers team. Started last night's game. Again, pitched for the Cardinals the last few years. Had a great year last year. Gallardo retired the first 2 batters of this inning. The 1-2 pitch. And that just misses inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It looked real good from here.
It looked pretty good from here, too.
Of course, I'm down the first baseline, so it always looks good when you're the opposing pitcher.
Well, 2 balls and 2 strikes here. Kyle, we appreciate you taking the time here to speak with us. And by the way, if we all play, you have to give us some strokes.
Yeah, I'll have to see your exact handicap, because I get in trouble giving away too many strokes. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much, Kyle. A 1-2-3 inning for Gallardo. We go to the bottom half of the third. 3-2 Cards. Ryan Braun leading off here in the third against Adam Wainwright. And first pitch, throws the bat at a broken bat. Nice diving stop by Craig, and Wainwright gets there in time.
Well, nice play by Craig. He gets the ball, and I like him running towards the pitcher instead of just staying flat-footed where he fields the ball. He runs towards the pitcher, gives Adam Wainwright a nice feed, catches the ball before he gets to the base. That's another thing. First baseman, get the ball to the pitcher as quick as you can. There's nothing worse than the pitcher trying to catch the ball and tag the base at the same time. They're not athletic enough to do that. Just kidding, pitchers.
Iniesky Betancourt singled his first time up. Fastball is up high for ball one. I always wondered, how is it that pitchers run more than anybody else on the baseball team, yet they'll look awkward running the bases?
Well, you know, they're not running sprints. They're just doing that methodical, long running, jogging. And what's interesting, everybody always talks about, you know, when interleague play first started, oh, well, the pitchers are going to have to hit. But the real thing is pitchers are going to have to run the bases. And I've seen guys get hurt running the bases. Ching-Ming Wong, I mean, ruined a career, really. The pitcher for the Yankees.
1-1 in the air to center field. John Jay a couple steps back, has plenty of room. And there are two away here in the third.
See Wainwright, well, looking at the bat, and then he realizes he's got to hustle over there. And again, you know, most guys aren't running sprints. Your pitchers aren't running sprints, you know, to stay in shape or anything like that. It's that methodical running or running on a treadmill, basically to build up endurance. Remember, this game of baseball is really just a game of bursts. You know, whether you're in the field, you're in the outfield.
Ricky Weeks hits with 2 outs, and he pops the first one foul. Carlos Gomez on deck. 2 away here in the third. Cardinals leading 3-2 after a 3-run home run by John Jay in the second. 0-1 curveball. Left field coming in as Holiday will make the catch. And a 1-2-3 inning worked by Wainwright. Here in Milwaukee, we're through 3, and the Cardinals lead the Brewers 3-2. reminding you that whatever you drive, drive a Firestone. And by the makers of One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of Major League Baseball. To the fourth we go, 3-2. St. Louis leading Milwaukee. Alan Craig, Yadier Molina, David Freese against Yovani Gallardo. And the first pitch is low and outside for ball one. Craig singled his first time up, came around to score in a 3-run homer by John Jay. On the outside corner, 1-1. Yadier Molina on deck. One ball and 2 strikes here to Craig. Alan Craig with 20 RBIs on the season. Came in batting .278. Still no home runs though, and he's your cleanup hitter, but he's still driving in runs. 1-2 fouled away, and I thought it was interesting reading an article this week about the Dodgers and Don Mattingly and Adrian Gonzalez, and he said to Gonzalez, I don't care how many home runs you hit, you can hit 11 for all I care. As long as you're driving in runs, that's the important thing.
Yeah, and it's all about run production. And you mentioned Alan Craig, who been great with runners in scoring position this year. Coming into today, hitting a .419 clip. Was great last year, led all of Major League Baseball.
Fastball is outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So at least when he is getting his hits, he's making them count. Now, obviously, you'd like to see some production, though, at least from a slugging standpoint, especially if you're hitting in the middle of the lineup.
Gallardo's 2-2. Did he go? He offered, and that's the second strikeout of the game for Gallardo. Yadier Molina will step to the plate. You look at what he has done over the course of his career. 2 World Series championships, 5 straight Gold Gloves. One of only 6 catchers to win those Gold Gloves and 2 World Series championships. And then last year, his best offensive year of his career. And his numbers are just almost as good this year. Better batting average, came in hitting .330. Hanging breaking ball, hard hit to third. Nice play by Betancourt. 2 away. That's what's impressive about this infield here for Milwaukee. You've got 3 shortstops playing in the infield right now, with Gonzalez at first base, Segura at short, and Betancourt at third.
Yeah, very tight infield. All guys very capable of fielding the ball. Now, again, just because you can play shortstop, that just means you're athletic and you can field the ball. They have to learn the nuances of the other positions, especially over at first base. But Ron Renicky very comfortable with what he has out there.
2 outs now for David Freese. Freese had that infield single his first time up, which was off the glove of Gallardo. Could have been a double play if he handles it correctly or handles it cleanly. And next thing you know, John Jay has the 3-run homer. Fastball on the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike.
There's John Jay right there. Got a fastball up out over the plate. 1 swing of the bat, 3 runs.
Hanging breaking ball, base hit to left field, a 2-out single for Freese. Let's throw it back to Matt Vasgersian for an update from the MLB studio.
Justin, the Pirates started play just a game behind first place St. Louis. Starling Marte adding to his National League leading hit total with a home run. Washington has since tied it with an Adam LaRoche sac fly. Steven Strasburg looking for his first win since opening day. Back to you guys in Milwaukee.
2 away, runner on at first base for Jay, who hit the 3-run homer back in the second. What do you make of Steven Strasburg right now, the Nationals?
Well, had a little bit of physical issue, had the forearm strain, but again, mechanically hasn't been able to harness that. He's been wild. He hasn't had the control. The game we saw him throw against the Atlanta Braves, he went through a few innings where they didn't really hit him that hard. But again, got himself into trouble because he couldn't find location, gave up a home run, found himself on the losing end.
One ball, one strike here to Jay. Outside with the fastball. And it's 2 balls and a strike.
See Maldonado, or excuse me, Gonzalez over at first base, playing in front of the runner. It does 2 things. It gives himself a little more range as far as getting off the bag with the left-handed hitter Jay at the plate. The other thing, gives him a clearer vision of the ball. He's not playing behind the runner. Sometimes a runner can impede your sight line of the hitter.
John Jay this series 5 for 8 with 5 RBIs. That's good production out of your 7-hole. 2-2. Fouled away. Fox Sports proudly supports Feeding America, the nation's leading domestic hunger relief charity. Next Saturday, May 11th, help stamp out hunger by leaving a bag of non-perishable food items next to your mailbox. Your letter carrier will deliver the items to Feeding America food banks across the country. Visit feedingamerica.org/stampouhunger for more information. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The count here to Jay. Career numbers against Gallardo. Now has those 2 home runs thanks to the 3-run homer in the second. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Freese will be off with the pitch. There he goes. A 3-2 breaking ball gets John Jay swinging, and that will do it here in the 4th. No runs on 1 hit, 1 man left on. We're through 3.5. It's 3-2 St. Louis. Bottom of the 4th, Carlos Gomez leads off against Adam Wainwright. First pitch swinging, fouls 1 back. No balls and 1 strike. We are now joined by Cardinals member of the starting rotation, Jake Westbrook. And Jake, thanks for joining us. Congratulations. Picked up win number 100 on Thursday night when you won 6 innings, 1 earned run, 6 hits, 4 strikeouts. What was that feeling like waiting, sweating it out towards the end to get that number 100?
Well, you know what? It was fun, man. It was kind of a long time coming in my career. It's always been a goal of mine. Definitely not a 300 game winner type guy. So 100 wins is something special to me, and it's something I always have.
You talk about the success that this starting staff has had this first month, and specifically you with the ERA. I mean, is there anything that was done in spring training or anything that you guys have done differently that has allowed this?
Well, it's we take a lot of pride in our day to start, and it's all about the process of getting ready. Each guy's got something different in their own routine, and we try to go about it in a professional way and get ready for each start. And we're throwing the ball pretty well right now.
What's the difference or the similarities of Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach, and your former pitching coach Dave Duncan?
Well, I mean, he's got all that information that Dave had, and he does a good job of relaying it to us and giving us what we need to be successful. Like I said, we all have different stuff and bring different things to the table, and he's not going to give us fill our heads with things that we can't use. He puts in our heads the things that we need to be successful, and gets us prepared for each game.
No balls, one strike. The count here to Martin Maldonado. Gomez flew out to center field. We're speaking with Jake Westbrook. And Jake, how carefully during a game when you're not starting do you watch your other starting pitchers?
No, we got a close-knit group. Ever since I came over here to the Cardinals in 2010, so when I first started watching, we go and watch each other's bullpens. We hang out with each other all the time, and in doing that, we have a relationship, real close-knit group to where we see things that we pick up on things throughout the ball game, and we share with each other and talk about it, and it only makes us better as pitchers.
So what do you see in that first inning when watching Adam Wainwright today?
You know what? I think he just elevated a few balls. I mean, it's something that he hasn't done really very much all year, and luckily right now he looks like he's getting that back.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The count here to Maldonado. Had an infield single his first time up. 1-2 is fouled back. Stays 1-2.
Jake, I've always wanted to ask somebody this, and it's you were selected in the first round by the Colorado Rockies, and as a pitcher, I know if I'm a high school kid or a college kid and I'm selected by the Colorado Rockies, I'm thinking, oh my goodness. And I guess what were you thinking, and what does that enter your mind?
Well, at the time, I thought it was a good fit for me, because I felt like it was good because I was a sinker ball guy. Even out of high school, I've always thrown the sinker, and I felt like if I can. I felt like if anybody could have some success in Colorado, it would be a sinker ball guy, and just ended up getting traded a couple years later. But that was him, and at the time, I'm happy to get drafted and go start my career in baseball and being a professional. So I was super excited. It really didn't matter what team I was drafted by.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The count here to Maldonado. We're speaking with Jake Westbrook, part of this starting rotation for the St. Louis Cardinals. Picked up his 100th career victory Thursday night against these Brewers. The 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up here for Maldonado. Wainwright goes to the breaking ball in the dirt. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jake, we're looking right now at just the 5-man rotation and the numbers that you guys have put up, and you spoke to Eric about the success. But if you're an outsider, looking at this Cardinals team, you kind of say, wow. I mean, some of these guys, you get a rookie in Miller, you got Lynn who's putting up great numbers. Is there a competition? What is it that's fueling this and leading to this success?
Well, I mean, you always kind of have that, that inner competition with one another, trying to, if not, trying to one up the next guy or keep the ball rolling and keep that success going. But I think we complement one another with the different styles of pitching. Waino with the location of the good curveball, and you got Jaime right behind him, left-handed. Lance Lynn, who comes at you full force, and then you got me sinking it, and then Shelby forcing it. So I mean, we complement each other well, and it makes for a tough rotation going into a series.
Yeah, but who's the best hitter of the group?
Well, it's definitely not me. I know that. But Waino's probably the best hitter of the group. Jaime's got a great swing, and you know, we take a lot of pride in that, and trying to get the job done when we're up there at the plate, try to at least get our bunts down.
Well, Jake, we appreciate you taking the time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me.
1 ball, 1 strike here to Alex Gonzalez, who pops one up foul territory, and that will reach the seats. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 away here in the 4th. And as far as Wainwright is concerned, ever since that first inning, he certainly has settled down. He hit Aoki in the 2nd, but then got a double play. He retired the side in order in the 3rd. He's retired the first 2 here in the 4th.
Yeah, and I think right now, you look at those shadows, that right now is impossible to see the ball up at the plate. Any kind of spin, Wainwright throwing the cutter or the curveball should be very effective.
The 1-2 in the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. What is it like as a hitter with those shadows coming in?
Well, you can't pick up the spin, and you can't pick up the rotation of the ball. And I remember, you know, when I played, I used to get frustrated at our own pitchers when they're up there just throwing fastballs, because you throw an off-speed pitch as a hitter. I mean, if it's in a decent location, you're not going to see it. You can't pick it up. The only way you hit it is if the bat accidentally runs into the ball.
2-2, foul tipped into the mitt, and that'll do it. Another 1-2-3 inning work by Wainwright. We are through 4 complete in Milwaukee. 3-2 St. Louis. Pete Kozma leads off here in the 5th against Giovanni Gallardo. Kozma rounded back to Gallardo his first time. First pitch swinging here, grounds one to first. And Gonzalez takes it himself. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 5th. Now here comes apparently the best hitting pitcher of the staff for the Cardinals, Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, with these shadows, though, you get knocked down a few notches. So best hitting pitcher. Best hitting pitcher does not mean you're a good hitter. It just means you're the best hitting pitcher. But he can run into a few. There's no question about it.
Fastball misses low and outside. Wainwright struck out his first time up. Well, we've got the 2 power hitting pitchers in this game today. 2-0.
Well, you know, again, remember we were speaking to Ron Renicky prior to the game, and he made a comment. He said, I hope the sun doesn't come out. I'm thinking, what? what does that matter? I mean, you got a roof on and everything. But I get it now. You know, the sun's sneaking in through the side panels, creates the shadows, and that's just not fun right there.
This is my first time at this ballpark. I like it a lot.
Oh, great ballpark. Things are going well. A lot of energy. Hitters Park.
2-1 on the inside corner with the fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gallardo really has just had 1 bad inning. That was the second. Two breaking ball in the air to center field. Gomez comes in. 2 outs. A little bit different.
Oh.
Milwaukee County Stadium, home up until 2000. That was where home plate is now. This is Hellfair Field, which is a Little League field. How nice is that? Can you imagine being a Little Leaguer and you got Miller Park out in the outfield? Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, that's a sweet Little League field. You're spoiled.
I almost want to go out there and play myself right now. That'd be great. Take home run derby. I could actually hit one out. Matt Carpenter takes the breaking ball for a strike. He's lined out to center field both times up.
Now, he's done a real nice job for these Cardinals. Playing second base most of spring and then having to open at third because David Freese on the DL. Back at second. Sitting atop the lineup now. Just a solid player. And I think getting the opportunity to be in the lineup every day is going to be a real contributor to this team this year.
The 1-1. Good pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Cardinals enter today's game winners of 4 in a row, 18-11 on the season, the best record in the National League. A game up on Pittsburgh, 2.5 up on Cincinnati, 3.5 up on these Brewers. 1-2 breaking ball is pulled foul. Pittsburgh Pirates, fair enough to say they're a surprise team right now? Or
it's, you know, April and May, I'm just, when we get into July and there's teams still around, then you can start talking about surprises. But there's so many things that go on, whether it's injuries, whether it's the schedule, whether it's playing in certain types of weather. You know, look at the Pirates and the Royals are always the trendy pick. You know, we have our seminars and our experts. So, well, I like the Pirates this year. I think the Royals have some good young players. Not to say that they don't, but you know, we get into July and August and talking about some other teams always.
The 2-2 called strike 3 at the knees. Strikeout number 4 for Gallardo. A 1-2-3 fifth. Bottom half of the 5th we go. 3-2 St. Louis. by Chevrolet. Find new roads. Bottom of the 5th here in Milwaukee. Justin Kutcher alongside Eric Karros. Adam Wainwright. First inning, struggled. Since, not so much. 9-1-2 here in the 5th. Gallardo, Aoki, Segura. First pitch fastball for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Gallardo flew out to right field his first time up.
I was going to say, going back to Wainwright in that first inning, I think the thing that's most impressive and really, which is indicative of what type of pitcher he is, his team gets the lead, and it's been all 0 since.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where when his team gets some momentum, historically, he has been a guy that's, all right, that's it. Our game now, I'm shutting you down. And that's what he's done. He's taken control so far once they got the lead in the second inning.
The 0-2 in the air to right field again down the line, and that'll get into the seats. It's funny, when in the first inning on that force out that Pete Cosmo made the play in the hole, and we saw the reaction by Wainwright, that fist pump, it reminded me, it looked like John Smoltz. And of course Smoltz had a big part of Wainwright's career. Glavin Maddox, as he came up with the Braves, and he was a diehard Braves fan growing up outside of Atlanta. And that's what you talked about right there, something that Smoltz would do too. I mean, he gets a lead and bam, just shuts you down.
Well, he gets a little emotional. You see, this is in the first inning. He's like, yes, all right. You guys pick me up. I'm going to do my job now. I'm going to go out. I'm going to pick you guys up. I'm going to throw some zeros. And this is still when you're behind 2-0 right there.
Right. 1-2 is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Gallardo. Wainwright's 2-2. Breaking ball got him looking. In the shadows, that's just not fair. Tomorrow on Fox, Sprint Cup Series racing returns to Fox as Daytona 500 champion and points leader Jimmy Johnson will look for his 3rd career victory at Talladega Superspeedway, while defending champion Brad Keselowski tries to defend his title and get his first win of the season. Fox Sports exclusive coverage of the Aaron's 499 begins tomorrow at noon Eastern. 4 strikeouts now in the game for Wainwright as Norichika Aoki steps in. Aoki's reached base both times. Singleton was hit by a pitch. Takes the fastball for a strike. Line back up the middle. Another base hit here for Aoki. That is the first hit for the Milwaukee Brewers since the first inning.
Danny gets that leg up, just smooth up the middle, not trying to kill the ball. Just kind of serves it right back towards Wainwright. He's been on base all 3 times today.
And this is one of the keys to this game. You said don't let somebody get on base in front of this guy, Gene Segura. And Segura in that first inning hit the 2-run home run. Now he comes up with a man on first again. Segura, his last time up, grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. Fastball is outside. This was the first inning. Segura has the opposite field power, and he drove that ball to right center field.
Yeah, fastball up, pretty straight. And obviously Wainwright going to probably spin a few up there, hope to induce a ground ball.
Instead, a line drive back up the middle. Back-to-back singles here for the Brewers. And now runners on first and second, 1 out for Ryan Braun.
See, and that's where, as a position player, when I was playing in shadows, I used to get flustered. Why are we throwing fastballs when you can't see the off-speed pitch? And I understand that you're going to have to mix some up and throw some once in a while. But I used to just sit out there and say, do you guys know how difficult it is to hit right now? Just spin them up there.
Would you ever call timeout?
Would I ever? Would I ever? Yeah. Yeah, I would. We had a catcher named Tom Prince, and I wanted to call pitches over at first base. He told me to be quiet and get back over to first, which was probably the right thing. But
those shadows now right over the mound. Ryan Braun 0 for 2. Fastball missing inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Braun struck out in the first, grounded out to first in the third. Aoki at second, Segura at first. Fouled back, 1 ball and 1 strike.
I got to believe that curveball's coming here. Outside, Molina set up outside for that 75-mile-an-hour curveball. I mean, it does a couple of things. I mean, he's been good enough that you throw it off the plate, okay, it's ball 2. If Braun does swing at it, hopefully that's off the end of the bat. You could induce a double play.
The 1-1 came back with the heater.
Yeah, fastball outside.
You're puzzled.
Well, I mean, look at. I'm not questioning Molina. Molina's the best there is. No question about it. You know, and you just don't know. Maybe Wainwright's not feeling it right now. Maybe he's not confident in it. But you know, the way he was throwing that curveball earlier in the game, especially on that outer part of the plate, just having all kinds of success.
Now the 1-2. Goes that cutter. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You see, setting up outside, he goes with that cutter. And the thing about the cutter and the fastball is they're so similar in speed. Again, what you're trying to do to a hitter is you're trying to get him off balance.
Wainwright's 2-2. Goes outside again with a cutter, misses, and now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom half of the 5th inning, a 3-2 ball game. Runners on first and second, and a 3-2 count here to Ryan Braun.
Well, because Braun struck out with such frequency this year, I'm not running anybody here.
The 3-2, and he gets him with a fastball. Dialed it up to 93. Strikeout number 5 for Wainwright.
Well, take a look at it. It's just basically all hard stuff. We're going fastballs in, fastball away, fastball again. You know, we're going to mix in a cutter every once in a while here on the outer part of the plate. And then fastball right down the middle. So staying away from the off speed as far as the slow curveball. You know, I think maybe Ryan Braun was just waiting for that because he just blew the fastball by him there.
2 away now for Yuniesky Betancourt. 1 for 2. Singled and flew out to center his last time up. And the first pitch catches the outside corner for strike 1. Broken back, grounded to shortstop. Cosmo will go to first, and that will do it. So Wainwright gets out of the inning unscathed. No runs on 2 hits, 2 men left on. It's 3-2 Cardinals after 5. Is sponsored by the makers of One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of Major League Baseball, and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. The beautiful Art Museum here in Milwaukee as we go to the 6th of a 3-2 ball game. Carlos Beltran, Matt Holliday, Alan Craig to face Yovani Gallardo. First pitch in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. The top 3 hitters in the lineup for the Cardinals today: Matt Carpenter, Carlos Beltran, Matt Holliday. 0 for 7. And yet they lead by 1. Two balls and no strikes. You think he likes batting that 2-hole?
Well, a great spot for him. See more fastballs there. The reason for it: leadoff guy gets on, usually a threat to run.
Ground ball to first. Gonzalez gets it to Gallardo covering. So that play right there, was that what we saw? A shortstop playing first, not a typical first baseman playing first?
Yeah, and that's exactly the situation there. That's not a first baseman playing first. First, he backhands it. What he should do now is start running towards the bag. Running towards the bag and then underhand it. You don't want to stand there and then throw it overhand to a guy that's running, let alone a pitcher running to first base. Now, the play works out, but I'll tell you what, every pitcher will tell you that they'd much rather have a ball coming underhand to them while they're on the move.
1 away now for Matt Holliday. Holliday fouls the first one back. The reason why it looked like a shortstop, because he's been a shortstop his entire career. This is the first time he's ever played first base this year.
Well, and again, it's whatever position you go to play, and you could put a guy there for a couple games and they can get away with it. But to learn the nuances and the little quote-unquote tricks of the trade, I mean, there's something specific for each position out there. Not something, a number of things.
Now, you came up in the minors, you said playing third base, or no, that was in college?
No, I was in college at third base. Played, they saw enough of me at third in the minor leagues. I played first base. But again, you know, Gonzalez, the more he plays over, the more comfortable he'll be, the more things he'll learn.
The 0-2 to Holliday, missing outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Alan Craig on deck. One, 2 in the air to right center. Gomez on the run on the warning track by the wall, makes the catch.
Well, a great jump by Gomez, and he just runs this thing down into right center. You know, we talk about, you know, what he's done offensively this year, coming into the game, leading the league in hitting. He's always been known as a great defensive player. And physically, he's got great athletic ability. So he just runs this thing down, not worried about the fence. Nice grab.
2 outs now for Alan Craig. First pitch fastball in there for a strike. Craig 1 for 2, singled, scored in the second, struck out in the fourth. Up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors for St. Louis. 2 runs on 7 hits and no errors for Milwaukee. 78 pitches in the game here for Gallardo. Low and outside, 2 balls and a strike. In the air to right center field. Aoki going back. He looks up. First home run of the year for Alan Craig. It was only a matter of time.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of reception he gets down in that dugout. There you go. Lined up. Going to make that trek probably 19 to 20 more times this year.
4-2 now. St. Louis leading. Yadier Molina steps in, and he takes the fastball in the outside corner.
Look at the extension when the contact is made. That back elbow is tucked.
Fastball, no balls and 2 strikes. Take a listen. Good backspin on it. And the ball definitely carries at this ballpark.
A great place to hit. A great place.
The 0-2 to Molina. Spoils it foul, stays 0-2. You know, it's pretty incredible that you have a guy like Alan Craig, who replaces Albert Pujols, one of the greatest Cardinals of all time. And you have a guy in Mike Matheny who replaces Tony La Russa, one of the best managers of the Cardinals of all time. And yet you don't hear many people talk about either Pujols or La Russa. Those two guys have done a great job filling in for some big shoes.
Well, and again, as you mentioned, those guys haven't seemed to miss a beat at all. And Mike Matheny right there. Picked out of the youth baseball circuit to
Is that why you're managing Little League these days?
It's the quickest road to the big leagues. No, I mean, Mike was pegged to be a manager from the get-go, the way he played the game.
Now Molina lines one down in the corner in left field. Yadier Molina will jog into second base, the 2-out double. The 9th double of the year for Molina.
Well, this pitch down low, all Molina has to do is just drop the bat. You see him keep his head on it. Almost exaggerated. And really the shortest distance the bat has to travel. A low pitch, you just drop the head on it. Gallardo really needs to keep that runner out at second base. At least a 2-run ball game. Guy gets on, you got the tying run to the plate.
Two away here for David Freese. Runner on at second. 4-2 ball game. Freese is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Now's the first one away. 0-1. Talked about the struggles of the first 3 hitters in this lineup for the Cardinals. But the 4 through 7 hitters, they have picked up the slack. They have all 6 hits in this game for St. Louis. 6 for 10, 2 home runs, a double, and 4 RBIs. Fastball is low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. I don't know about you, but I always think a sign of a good team is a team that scores a lot of runs with 2 outs. They get those 2-out rallies. Another 2-out run here on the home run by Craig.
Well, for me, it's a team that doesn't give away at-bats and are competitive at-bats throughout the lineup. And that's what this Cardinal ball club is made of.
Breaking ball in the dirt.
You have guys that go up there with a plan. They're disciplined enough to try to execute that plan. Now, they're not always going to be successful, but it's much different than guys just going up there and, hey, I'm just going to go up there and see how hard I can hit it or swing. And it was John Mabry, now the hitting coach. There's Mike Matheny, but John Mabry, the hitting coach, is interesting today. We go into the dugout or in the clubhouse, and he's holding a hitters meeting. I'm thinking a hitters meeting in the middle of a series. You just don't normally do that. But the reason it's a 4-game series, we're going to meet midway through the series instead of trying to dump all this information on you the very first day, which is typical. 5-10 minutes, go over Gallardo, go over what he's going to try to do, boom. And they've been able to execute today.
3 balls and a strike here to Freeze. The 3-1. Breaking ball pulled to third base. Betancourt makes the play, and that'll do it here in the 6th. But Alan Craig, he was looking for that first home run of 2013. Look no more. He's got it. 4-2 St. Louis. Four-two here in the bottom half of the 6th. Ricky Weeks, Carlos Gomez, Martin Maldonado against Adam Wainwright. First pitch on the outside corner for a strike in between innings. And a sausage race. Sausage goes down. Speaking of sausages and just food at this ballpark, got a chance to taste some food. They brought some food up here. The brisket sliders. Oh, those are legit.
Yeah, I'm on a diet right now. I stayed away from those.
Instead, you go with the chocolate chip cookies?
No, I went with the chocolate. No, I went with the stuffed spaghetti. No, the stuffed meatballs. The spaghetti meatballs.
Yes. Some donuts.
Outstanding.
2 balls and a strike here to Weeks, who's 0 for 2, a strikeout, and a line out to left field. The caprese sandwich was also very good. The caprese panini. I'd recommend that if you're hungry. Down low, 3-1.
Look at that. That's what the hitter has to deal with right now. Again, tough to pick up the rotation. But what's been interesting, we haven't seen that slow curveball from Wainwright for a couple innings.
Fouled back. Is that one of those things where he just goes maybe to Yadier and says, I don't have the feel for it right now?
I'm not sure what it is, but as a hitter, if I'm sitting in the opposing dugout, I've noticed that in the last few innings he has not gone to that slow curveball. So I can eliminate that pitch at least when I'm going to the plate. You know, I can sit on the fastball or that hard cutter. And again, you know, hitting in these sort of conditions, not a lot of fun. But if I can just eliminate, take a pitch out of a sequence or out of an at-bat, it gives me a little better chance. But I wonder why. Like I said, we haven't seen the curveball. I don't know if it's not feeling it or a grip issue or.
The 3-2 here to Weeks. In the air to right field. Beltran has room in front of the warning track. One away. Bill Miller mic'd up. Here's what the conversations he's had so far today.
I forgot you said Benji was assistant hitting coach. I saw him before the game. Yeah. Brother hanging out?
It's been 10 years, you know, like we have. I mean, I don't want to say we have seen him, but spend.
Yeah. Not that much time together.
Right now.
That's good. What's the age difference between you guys?
10 years.
Oh, it is 10 years. Oh.
Got a chance to catch up with Benji Molina yesterday. He said he was actually Yadier's first coach in baseball, and he would come back and he would coach his little brother. And I thought it was so cool as Gomez pops one foul to play, watching BP, and Benji is throwing BP to Yadier. And I thought, man, I mean, it's got to be like, you know, playing in the park. And he said, no, I used to make Yadier throw to me.
It's good stuff.
One. Awkward swing by Gomez, got tied up. No balls and 2 strikes.
You see this pitch just takes off inside. They want it away, but gets away from Wainwright, but Gomez does him a favor. And that wasn't even close.
0-2. There's a breaking ball hit deep to left field. Gomez has made it a 1-run game. The 6th home run of the year for Carlos Gomez.
Well, and that's probably why Molina hasn't been calling for the breaking ball. Just left that out over the middle of the plate. Obviously not the location. He wants that ball out over the corner, and that thing just hangs over the middle. Gomez doesn't miss it.
As a hitter, and you see that hanging breaking ball over the middle, your eyes must go like bug eyes.
Well, and that's one of the things, because it just hangs. It almost backs up to a certain extent. The thing you've got to be careful about is that you don't try to overdo it. You don't try to hit it 10 miles. See, he stays back. You can see he almost pauses a little bit once he gets his front foot back down. Keeps his hands back and just explodes on it.
Martin Maldonado at the plate. Fastball is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. .90 pitches in the game here for Wainwright. Fastball is down low and outside. 2-1.
Well, you see, this is a breaking ball. Boom, he's out there in front, and it's almost as a pause. But see, he's loaded right now. You see him tuck that back elbow in, gets close to the body, brings the bat through. That's picture perfect.
2-1. Another base hit past the diving Cosman to left field.
Well, you see Carlos giving him a shh. I'm not sure who he's given that to. That's the shh sign.
So now Alex Gonzalez will hit with a runner on first base. Joe Kelly begins to throw in the bullpen now for the Cardinals. Outside, ball 1. In the on-deck circle, Jonathan Lucroy. Good hit for Yovani Gallardo, with Tom Gorslani warming up in the bullpen. Fastball in the outside corner, 1-1. Gorslani been very good out of the pen this year. Wainwright, his best start of the year was April 13th against these Brewers. Today it's been a different game, a battle for him. That first inning, gave up 2 runs, got out of the jam. 1-1, pulled down the left field line. Maldonado, a catcher running. He's going to be held up at third base. As walking into second base is Gonzalez with a double. Second and third, 1 out in a 1-run game here in the 6th inning.
I know the fans want to see Maldonado sent in that situation, but absolutely the right play. This ball scorched down into the corner. But with 1 out, well, all you're looking for is contact now, or a sacrifice fly, something to get that runner in. Maldonado has that play in front of him, so he knows what he can and can't do.
Jonathan Lucroy will pinch hit here for Yovani Gallardo. 225, 3 homers, and 14 RBIs on the season. In at first base is Alan Craig, trying to at least hold that runner at third if the ball's hit to him. On the outside corner with a cutter for strike 1.
As you mentioned, the first baseman playing in, trying to take away that run, and the thinking is if he hits it over to first, he's not going to hit it all that hard. You've got a catcher over at third base, and even something hard hit to third or even second. Again, you can take a look, because you don't know if Maldonado is going to be going on the swing.
No balls and 2 strikes. Second and third, 1 out, 4-3 ball game. And the pinch hitter, Jonathan Lucroy, at the plate. Wainwright trying to get through 6 innings here with a lead. The 0-2. Line drive over Carpenter's head. Into scores Maldonado, being waved around as Gonzalez, and Milwaukee goes on top 5-4. A big pinch hit, 2-run single by Jonathan Lucroy.
That's a great job. Again, this is just a fastball down the middle. Molina wants it elevated. He wants it up. Wants Lucroy to go after a pitch that's out of the zone. Wainwright isn't able to hit that spot. Not a happier guy than Gallardo right now.
4 consecutive hits here for the Brewers. Top of the order, Aoki, who has reached base all 3 times, 2 singles, hit by a pitch. Tries to bunt, bunts it foul. The 100th pitch of the game coming up here for Adam Wainwright. 11 hits in the ball game for the Brewers. And they've essentially done all their damage in 2 innings, the first and here in the 6th. Up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. 22 pitches this inning here for Wainwright. Got Ricky Weeks to lead off, flew out to right field, then gave up the home run to Gomez on that hanging breaking ball. Randy Choate was up. He has since sat down. So it's just Kelly up in the bullpen for St. Louis. Inside, did that catch him again? It did hit him on the hand.
See him trying to get out of the way.
That hit the bat.
Did look like a lot of bat right there. Yeah, that was all bat right there. Aoki did a nice job. You know, the best part about that right there was his ability to react right away. It wasn't a delayed response. I'm speaking about Aoki. He sold that to the umpire.
Well, that will be it for Adam Wainwright here. But you would think if you got hit on the hand, you'd react.
He reacted
like,
quickly.
Oh my, quickly, but wasn't really shaking the hand too hard. Aoki's on first. Lucroy's on second. We've got a pitching change with Milwaukee up by 1 here in the 6th. A new second baseman, Daniel Descalso. Matt Carpenter goes from second to third. David Freese is out, so Descalso will hit in Freese's spot. Excuse me, Descalso will hit in the 9-hole, and the pitcher, Joe Kelly, will hit in Freese's spot. And Joe Kelly, 0-1, a 9.64 ERA, and this has been, if there has been an Achilles heel for the St. Louis Cardinals team, it's been the bullpen.
Well, it has been the bullpen, and it's tough to say that, oh, they're going through all sorts of troubles when you've got the best record in the National League. But the reality is, Jason Mott, as we know now, will be gone for the year. Going to have Tommy John surgery. He was out, so he moved people into different roles. Mitchell Boggs was the closer for a bit. They just weren't able to get well and be productive in their roles. Some moves have been made, but the one thing you can't argue, they've got great arms in the bullpen.
Gene Segura at the plate facing Joe Kelly. And the first pitch slider is low and outside for ball 1. Segura in this game is 2 for 3. A 2-run homer in the first, a single in the 5th, and he grounded into a double play. Slider down low, 2-0. You mentioned those changes in the bullpen for the Cardinals. They've got a couple of rookies up there, and Seth Maness and Carlos Martinez. Both those guys appeared in last night's game. Faced the minimum. And two very different styles. Martinez, a guy who can flat out bring it, light it up, 97, 98. And Maness, a guy who just knows how to pitch, change speed, uses location. 2-0 fastballs outside. Now 3 balls and no strikes. And these 3 youngsters, Shelby Miller, Carlos Martinez, and Seth Maness, they're the ones who combined and were huge in that victory for them last night.
Well, and those 3, you know, one of the reasons why a Kyle Loesch, you can let him go explore other places instead of re-signing him, because you've got young pitchers.
3-0 taken all the way was Segura. 3 balls and 1 strike. 96 on the gun for Kelly, and that's what this team can roll out there between Kelly and Martinez and Rosenthal. I mean, guys who hit 96 to 100.
Well, and that's Ron Renicky, the manager of the Brewers, was telling us, you know, some of his players were asking, should we get the starters out of there? Should we try and work them to get to the bullpen? He's like, for what? Those guys are throwing 96, 97.
3-1, back to Kelly. Goes to second for 1. Over to first, the 1-6-3 double play. Joe Kelly comes in, does the job, keeps it a 1-run game. 5-4 after 6. Brewers now lead the Cardinals. Lonnie, the left-hander, out of the bullpen, 1-0, a 1.42 ERA, 6 walks, 9 strikeouts. And this bullpen now will try to hold the lead and get the victory for Yovani Gallardo.
And Gorzelani done a real nice job, and opponents are only hitting at a 103 clip against him. Ron Renicky telling us that although their bullpen is a little disjointed, real happy with what Gorzelani has done for him this year.
John Jay will lead things off against the lefty Gorzelani. And the fastball is low and outside for ball 1. Slider misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Jay 1 for 2. The 3-run homer back in the second, and a strikeout. On deck is Pete Kozma. In the dirt now. 3 balls and no strikes. Time for the Just for Men auto stop foolproof stat. Giovanni Gallardo, 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs all earned, no walks, 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how I'd classify that outing.
He survived.
Workmanlike. Yeah, survived. In a spot to get the win, though.
Not the start you want to see here from Gorzolani. A 4-pitch walk, lefty on lefty. Let's go back to Matt Vasgersian in the MLB Network studios for a game break.
Justin, developing story in Anaheim where 36-year-old Freddie Garcia is making his season debut. The 14-year vet signed a minor league deal with Baltimore just before opening day. He has not allowed a hit through 6. Almost as unlikely a no-hit scenario as when Hideo Nomo threw one in Denver in the rain, EK.
Yeah, that was something. A no-hitter at Coors Field. Hideo Nomo, but Freddie Garcia.
Kozma punched it the other way. Trying to take third base here is Jay. The throw comes in, and he's out. John Jay makes the first out of the inning at third base on a very good throw by Aoki, but not sure why he's trying there.
Well, great throw, but I watched him running around second, and I'll tell you, it didn't look to me like he ever looked at Jose Oquendo over at third base. I think he made up his mind, reading it off the bat, that he was going all the way. See, look at that. That's head down. He's not even thinking that there's going to be a throw over there. Never even picked up the third base coach. Look, Jose Oquendo's not over there standing there trying to get all-star votes. He's over there for a purpose.
Danny Del Scalzo hitting for the first time as he came in as part of that double switch.
Yeah, great throw too by Aoki.
That's a huge out. Now runner on first, 1 out. You could have had first and second. Situation where you could use this for a bunt. Could have had second and third and top of the order coming up.
You take a look. Watch Jose Oquendo over there at third. He's not doing anything. He's just telling him to slide, but there was never any waving, never anything. John Jay, I'm telling you, from the get-go, he decided he was going to third. He never picked up the third base coach.
Throw back over to first base. Kozma's back in standing up. But again, I mean, we were speaking with Ron Renicky about Carlos Gomez and stealing last night, first and third. And you've got your 8-man coming up. You're at the plate, and now all of a sudden you set up a situation where, you know, the pitcher can come up next, and what do? Well, here, if you go first and second, you've got your number 9 hitter coming up, sets up for a bunt. Now you go second and third, 1 out, and the top of the order coming up.
Yeah, I don't think the baseball knowledge question is really what needs to be asked here. The thing is he just read it wrong. He thought from the very get-go, with where he thought the outfielders were playing, the minute that ball was hit, he was going to third.
Del Scalzo into the corner in right field, and that ball is gone. Well, who cares anymore? Descalso just picks up his teammate John Jay, and St. Louis is back on top, 6-5.
Well, Jay knew what he was doing there, because Descalso would have been bunting in that situation right there if there were runners on first and second. Down over the middle part of the plate. Watch Aoki. He's trying to act like he may be able to catch it just to freeze the runner. No chance there.
And Carpenter takes the first pitch for a strike. Gorzelani has not come in and done the job here. Facing a couple lefties as Carpenter grounds one out to first base. 2 away, but think about it. Gorzelani walked leadoff man on 4 pitches. Gave up a single to Cosmo, was helped out by Aoki. And a 2-run homer here to Descalso, and now a ground out by Carpenter.
Well, and you mentioned really that you look back and you go, wow, the home run, that's the big at bat. And it's the obvious at bat, but the big at bat was the walk to John Jay. And you just can't do that. You brought in there, you know, as a left-handed specialist to get the left-handed hitter and at least make him put it in play.
And don't forget, Descalso, he came in as part of that double switch. Freese came out, Descalso came in, and Descalso delivers a 2-run homer. And Carlos Beltran now turning around to bat from the right side. 1 ball and 1 strike to him. He is 0 for 3 in this one. Breaking ball is inside. 2-1.
John Mabry, the hitting coach of the Cardinals. He's the one that had that meeting today. Middle of the series hitters meeting.
Beltran lines one out to third base. And that'll do it here in the 7th. But a 2-run home run by Descalso, and St. Louis leads 6-5. Stretch him out. The official lawn care company of Major League Baseball, and by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. It is a back and forth ball game here in Milwaukee. 6-5. St. Louis back on top of the Brewers. And it'll be the heart of the order, 3, 4, 5 for Milwaukee. Ryan Braun, Yuniesky Betancourt, and Ricky Weeks to face Joe Kelly. That heart of the order, though, is 1 for 9 in this ball game. Braun 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a ground out. And the slider. 1 ball, no strikes. Warming up in the bullpen for the Brewers, Burt Badenhop. Bono, line to left field. And Braun has his first hit of the game. Takes a wide turn. He'll hold up at first base. Yuniesky Betancourt will walk to the plate. Time for the Ace Helpful Player Profile, brought to you by Ace, the helpful place. And how many of you would have guessed this? That Yuniesky Betancourt, since April 16th, is tied for the most RBIs in the majors with Mike Napoli.
I wouldn't have guessed it.
Me neither.
Put me in that category. Well, they'd like to see him do something here. Again, that number 4 spot for the Brewers is just, you know, it's been a dark hole. There's just can't find anything there.
Fastball is fouled back. No balls and 1 strike here to Betancourt, who is 1 for 3, singled back in the first. Has since flown out to center and grounded out to shortstop. That base hit in the first inning was his 1,000th career hit. Action in the Cardinals bullpen. Fernando Salas, the right-hander. He starts the throw. Who is the hardest pitcher on a pickoff play for you to handle?
Kevin Brown.
No hesitation.
No hesitation. A lot of movement. He thought he was pitching to me over at first.
0-1 ground ball to third base. Carpenter goes to second for 1. The 5-4-3 double play. Let's go to Matt Vasgersian for an update from the MLB Network studios.
Justin, cancel those no-hitter alerts. First hit allowed by Freddie Garcia. A little Eric Ibar duck snort into center. Not exactly Marwin Gonzalez breaking up Yu Darvish's no-hitter. Perfect game, but we do what we can. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Matt. Back here in Milwaukee. 2 outs now for Ricky Weeks. Pretty cool story, nonetheless, about Freddie Garcia.
It would have been interesting to see if he would have had the stamina or to be able to go 9 innings. You know, again, making his first start. I know he'd been in the minor leagues, but again, just to run him out there and try and go 9 right out of the chute. But Buck Showalter doesn't have to make that decision.
Down low, 2 balls and no strikes here to Weeks. On the outside corner at the knees, 2-1. You heard Matt talk about Yu Darvish and his near perfect game at the beginning of the season. How about the year that he's off to, the start that he's off to?
Well, that whole staff. I mean, the Texas Rangers have been great. I think A.J. Przinsky, catcher over there, has done a fine job putting down the right fingers this year. But that's a ball club that just, you know, Ron Washington just has those guys going. I mean, they are just a darn good team year in and year out, even with the loss of Josh Hamilton.
2-2, just missing. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Burke Badenhop and John Axford warming up in the bullpen for Milwaukee. 2 outs, bottom half of the 7th inning in a 6-5 ball game. The 3-2. Foul back this way. Another 3-2. Outside, ball 4. Celebrate the craft of baseball. For a chance to win a Chevy Impala and a trip to the MLB All-Star Game, visit ChevyBaseball.com. Well, with that walk and Carlos Gomez coming up, it looks like that will be it for Joe Kelly. Fernando Salas will be the new pitcher here for St. Louis. 2 outs in the 7th. In Milwaukee, the Brewers trail 6-5. Fernando Salas is the new pitcher for the Cardinals. He pitched the 9th inning last night. A perfect 9th inning for Salas, and here he faces Carlos Gomez, who had a solo shot in the 6th.
He crushed a hanging curveball. You know, now Gomez, he comes to the plate. The shadows are all gone. Great hitting conditions. You got to expect Salas to throw those off-speed pitches on the outer part.
Ricky Weeks, the runner at first base. On the season, 4 for 5 in stolen bases. You don't think he would be stealing here, trailing by 1 in the 7th, and Yadier Molina beyond the plate.
Yeah, and really, you've got Gomez up at the plate. You got the leading hitter. You got a guy that can hit the ball as far as anybody here. You got to let him get some cuts. If there's anything in the alley with weak speed, you could probably score.
In the air, shallow right field, going back is Descalso, calls for it, there to make the catch, and Salas gets out of it with 1 pitch. We're through 7, 6-5. Cardinals lead the Brewers. A new pitcher to the ball game for the Brewers. It is Bert Badenhop. He comes in to relieve Tom Gorzolani. 0-1, a 4.66 ERA and 9 2/3, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Both teams have had their troubles this year with the bullpen, and Badenhop will face Holiday, Craig, and Yadier Molina. Holiday wasting no time against Badenhop and fouls one out of play. Alan Craig hit his first home run of the season his last time up. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, Badenhop getting the call here in the 8th inning. Well, that was John Axford's spot. Had a rough one against Pittsburgh, and now Ron Renicky telling us prior to the game that there isn't a designated role outside of that closer spot. You know what he's going to do is look at matchups, go what he feels will work best, not just have, hey, here's my 8th inning guy, here's my stopper.
What do you think about the whole specialization of bullpens?
Well, look, if you have the guys that can go out and fill a role and you know, they can be the closer, they can be the 8th inning guy, that's fine. But you've got to have the personnel, not only physically, but mentally, that have the makeup that can do that.
Got him chasing a slider. 1 away here in the 8th. Major League Baseball and People magazine are looking to salute our nation's veterans and military service members. 30 veterans and military service members, one to represent each Major League Baseball team, will be recognized at the 2013 Major League Baseball All-Star Game in New York City. To nominate, go to tributeforheroes.com. First pitch fastball is outside to Alan Craig, who's 2 for 3. Single, a home run, strikeout, and 2 runs scored. Ty Wigginton ready if he gets called upon. One ball and 1 strike. Badenhop's 1-1 fastball in the outside corner, 1-2.
Yeah, Badenhop he's got movement on all of his pitches. The control guy just hits on the corners. You know, as a hitter, that's tough. Man, it's right there.
Got it. 1-2 sliders outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. You know, it's funny, we see Seth Maness warming up in the bullpen, and I think back to 2006 when the Cardinals made that run and won the World Series. Entering that postseason, you're kind of like, who do they have in the bullpen? It's a makeshift bullpen, and there was Adam Wainwright as a closer. Then 2011 seemed like a makeshift bullpen again, and they win the World Series. And now all of a sudden you've got these guys coming up because, you know, Mott is out, and you bring up a guy like Carlos Martinez, Seth Maness, and you've got the youngster in Rosenthal, and all of a sudden you wonder if these guys, and it's a big if, but if they can lock down those spots, well, all of a sudden what was supposed to be a strength for the Cardinals could again be a strength.
Well, again, all these guys have proven that they can pitch in the minor leagues. I mean, Maness has great numbers. You know, Rosenthal was down there last year, was dominant. Shelby Miller, who's in the rotation, has been great.
Badenhop gets the call in the outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts for him. 2 outs here in the 8th.
Again, movement, just nibbling. This ball comes back, probably not on the plate, but home plate umpire Bill Miller gives it to him. But again, you know, I was always told a major leaguer is a minor leaguer with an opportunity. And, you know, that's what these kids are getting. That's what has been afforded them out in the bullpen, in the rotation. And I should say they've been given an opportunity. They've earned the opportunity.
Sliders in there for a strike. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jermaine Curtis in the on-deck circle here for St. Louis would pitch in the spot where the pitcher is slated to hit. Missing outside with a fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike to Molina, who doubled his last time up. Back, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, you see Baynot just living on that outside part of the plate. He's throwing 2 types of pitches. He's throwing that fastball that starts off of the plate and runs back over the corner. And as a right-handed hitter, very easy to give up on that. He also throws that pitch on the outer part of the plate, a little slider type, that instead of running back over the plate or back to the right-handed hitter, it runs away. The stirrup, the return of the stirrup.
Sliders low and outside. Now 3-2 here to Molina.
Don't see that very often.
Did you rock the stirrups?
Well, the stirrups were still in the rocking fashion back then.
Okay,
early 90s.
okay,
I did, and then I went to the Sox. I went to the Sox later in my career. I evolved.
Evolved or caved?
Evolved.
3-2 is fouled back. So you're saying right now, if you were out there playing, you'd wear the socks, not the stirrups?
Absolutely socks. Just a lot of effort with the stirrups. You got to put on the sanitaries, and you put the stirrup on that goes underneath the heel. Or you could go with the modern day pant look. All the way, you tuck it under the heel. Fashion is big in the big leagues.
Another 3-2. Got him looking. And Badenhop here in the 8th strikes out the side. He starts off with Holiday. Gets him swinging on a slider. And then he gets Craig looking and Molina looking. 6-5 Cardinals on top. Budweiser Bottom of the 8th here in Milwaukee in a back-and-forth ball game. It's St. Louis on top here, 6-5. Fernando Salas to face Martin Maldonado. Alex Gonzalez, and then a pinch hitter. Jim Henderson warming up out there in the pen now for Milwaukee, hoping his team can either tie it up or get the lead and hand it over to him. Maldonado 2 for 3. Singleton scored his last time up. Fastball blown right by him. 0-1. Same pitch, same result. 0-2.
Yep, come back again with a fastball, probably a little higher though, out of the zone. See if Maldonado or Chase.
The 0-2. Pop foul out of play. Alex Gonzalez on deck. He doubled his last time up. Matt Carpenter at third base is guarding the line. The 0-2 in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You know, the only thing is, if Maldonado does reach base, where they have a bit of an issue, you can't pinch run for him.
Right.
We've already used LaCroix. We know Maldonado is not the most fleet of foot.
Popped up behind home plate in front of us. All right, so here's a question for you. Aramis Ramirez activated from the DL yesterday, started yesterday's game. You have a situation here. Let's say you get a man on base. Gonzalez is up next. Is Ramirez that guy you use in that spot because you don't have to run him out there in the field afterwards?
Well, I got to check with Ramirez. I mean, he makes that decision. I go as a manager and ask him, you know, do you have an at-bat in you, or do you not have an at-bat in you? You know, and you let the player make that choice.
Well, there he is. I guess he told his manager, Skip,
said, I'm hitting.
Justin Kutcher alongside Eric Karros here in Milwaukee. The 2-2 pitch. Pulls to third base, backing up Carpenter. Long throw across, makes it nicely. Today's game presented by Budweiser, sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. And by Taco Bell, sometimes you gotta live Moss. One away, Alex Gonzalez at the plate. And the batter in the on-deck circle is Logan Schaefer, not Aramis Ramirez. Let's see if that changes as Gonzalez singles to left field. The pinch hitter will be Logan Schaefer.
Well, you have Logan Schaefer. You have a little bit of speed there, but you also have a left-handed hitter, and he's got that whole right side of the infield open with Gonzalez at first base. Now you have a pinch runner.
Jeff Bianchi will come in to pinch run here for Gonzalez. There's one out, bottom of the 8th. Pinch hitter is Schaefer. And the pinch runner, Bianchi. Logan Schaefer 5 for 31 on the season. And the first pitch on the outside corner with a changeup. 0-1. The Cardinals have Randy Choate warming up in the bullpen. He's a left-hander. And they also have their closer, Edward Mujica, warming up as well. Off the end of the bat, flaring to left center field. Trying to take third base is Bianchi. He will as the throw comes in a second. Runners on the corners. One out here in the 8th.
It's really a nice play by Jay. You see Schaefer shoot this ball out to left center. But Jay's never even thinking about throwing to third. He knows he doesn't have a play. See Bianchi getting a strong jump. But Jay does a great job of throwing it into second base. And keep that winning run at first base. Keep the double play in order.
So with the lefty Aoki coming up, we're going to have a pitching change, and Randy Choate is coming in. 1-run ball game. Runners on the corners, 1 out in the 8th. Comes in to face the left-hander Norichika Aoki. Runners on the corners. 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning. 1-run ball game. Bianchi the pinch runner at third base. Schaefer the pinch hitter at first base.
Well, ironically too, that he hits better against left-handed pitching than he does right-handers.
And he tries for the squeeze play. Molina drives back, but he can't make the play. How about that?
Well, that's a real gutsy call. Just because you have the left-handed hitter up at the plate, with the runner coming down, it's easy for the pitcher to throw a pitch out. Watch this slide, too, as he goes to the outer part of the plate to evade Molina. Gets that right foot in there. Bill Miller making a great call right on top of things.
To be honest with you,
Be honest.
We were going to show you this, and we held off because you and I both held off. But 3 things you need to know about Aoki. Just go down to the last note. He recorded his first Major League RBI on a suicide squeeze play.
And I have to hand it to our producer, Carol Langley. She called it. She said, hey, look, what about a squeeze here? Being the baseball expert that I am, no way. I'm not going to do it right away. But look at the slide here. Gets that right foot in there. Bill Miller right there. We got ourselves a tie ball game here in Milwaukee.
Part of a double switch. Shane Robinson is now in left field. Seth Maness comes in to pitch. Robinson will hit in the 6 spot. Maness will hit in the 3 spot, taking out Holiday. Gene Segura at the plate. Fouled the first pitch off down the right field line. Chopper to third. Fair ball. Stepping on the back. Carpenter over to first base. And a 5-3 double play. That's the 3rd double play Segura has grounded into in this ball game. We go to the 9th, tied at 6. Now with all the switches, Yuniesky Betancourt goes from third base to first base. Taken over at third base is Jeff Bianchi after he pinch ran for Alex Gonzalez. And now the closer, Jim Henderson, is in for Milwaukee in this tie game at home in the 9th inning.
And Jim Henderson just going to come right at you, just hard, and harder. Did not start the season. Didn't know if he was going to be the closer or not the closer, but really is just taken to that spot and replaced Axford.
And now Shane Robinson will lead things off, and Robinson to left center field. That drops in for a base hit. Gomez kicks it, and taking the extra base is Robinson. The first error of the ball game allows a leadoff man to get into second base.
Well, you see, he takes his eye off it as he's heading over there. He's trying to pick up the runner, doesn't catch the ball first. And the reason Robinson hustling from the get-go. He's thinking maybe. Oh, then he slows down a little bit. Gomez, though, was watching the runner. Took his eye off the ball and cost him.
Well, now Milwaukee anticipating a bunt with John Jay up. The corners are in. Jay showed bunt, pulled it back as the pitch misses high and outside for ball one.
You know, this is also where you talk about, you know, some of these guys playing first base that, you know, aren't natural first basemen. Well, this is a great example, this bunt play right now. Again, if you're just going to make the routine play over at first, okay, you can get away with it. But just charging, the timing, getting the footwork right to possibly make a play at third, Betancourt just hasn't done it.
And Jay doesn't get the bunt down. 1 ball and 1 strike. On deck is Pete Kozma. With all these changes, though, and how we have interleague play going, you know, throughout the year, this is a reason why I really hope they keep the DH in the American League only, and they keep the National League in the league where the pitchers hit. The runner goes. Yeah! And a stolen base for Robinson. With Bianchi playing in, he took advantage of it.
Well, he stole that ball, stole that off of Henderson. I mean, Henderson did one look, and it almost like he was trying. He had 3 or 4 steps, and then just no way, as you mentioned, the third baseman in. But Henderson's got to do a better job right there of keeping him close to second.
So now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes, and the entire infield has to come in. Nobody out trying to cut down the go-ahead run. And Jay fouls it back. As a hitter now, if you're John Jay, is it just let me lift a ball to the outfield?
You're just trying to make contact. I would spread out right now, especially with 2 strikes, and just try to put the bat on the ball, because you don't need to hit it to the outfield. You've got the infield in, so your percentages increase. The thing is, you get into that ego thing where I'm going to hit the ball hard. Spread out and make contact.
1-2, pulled foul. Do it again at 1 and 2.
You know, if I'm John Jay, I'm thinking left center. I'm thinking left center. It's almost like I don't want to jam myself, but again, the last thing I want to do is be out in front of something, hit something off the end of the bat. Let the ball travel and just make contact.
High and outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Cardinals winners of 4 in a row. Taking the first 2 games of this series. They won on Thursday night 6-5. They won last night 6-1. Here today, it's all tied up at 6 in the top of the 9th inning. But a leadoff single by Robinson. Moved to second on the error by Gomez. Now stole third, and it's 2-2 here to Jay. 2-2, line base hit, and St. Louis goes back up by a run. 4th RBI of the day for John Jay. And give a lot of credit to Shane Robinson for that run.
Yeah, Shane Robinson coming in, getting the big base hit, hustling to get into second base, stealing third, all setting it up for John Jay, shooting it up the middle. Big 3-run home run earlier in the game. Big hit right there.
Pete Kozma, 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 7th. The 4 RBIs today are a career high for John Jay. He gave his team a 1-run lead back in the 2nd with that 3-run homer. He gives his team a 1-run lead now here in the 9th with the RBI single.
Thrown over, trying to keep him close, also wanting to see if Kozma will reveal what he's doing up there at the plate. Possible bunt. I would bunt here in this situation. I'd bunt it towards Betancourt.
The Yankee is in at third base. Not showing bunt. Danny Descalso on deck, had the 2-run homer in the 7th, his first at bat of the game.
The reason I'd bunt, I'm going to have to face the middle of that Brewer lineup next inning. I'd like to give my pitcher a 2-run cushion.
Runner goes, hit and run, ground ball to short. Segura only plays to first, and Betancourt keeps his foot on the bat.
Similar though, although not bunting, Matheny putting a runner in play there by moving him. Hit and run type. So again, Mike not sitting around waiting for something to happen. Segura looks to second, but then has to go to first. But same thing as a bunt here.
And now Descalso hits with a runner in scoring position. And 1 away. Edward Mujica warming up in the bullpen. Now the closer for this Cardinals team. Henderson looks back to second. We have had a run, at least 1 run scored in every inning, the 6th, 7th, 8th, and now here in the 9th. Fastball missing outside for ball 1.
Descalso having that big 2-run shot. Again, you look at this game and it's been production from the unheralded guys.
Throw back to second base, and getting back safely is Jay.
Jay getting out there comfortably. Has to hustle back. See Segura playing him up the middle, trying to hold him close, also because of the pull situation.
Big swing, 2-1. Outside, 3 balls and 1 strike here to Descalso with Carpenter on deck. The 3-1 from Henderson. Ball 4. First and second, 1 out, and the top of the order coming up. Fox Saturday Baseball returns in 2 weeks with 3 great matchups as the White Sox will be in Anaheim to take on the Angels, the Reds battle of Phillies, or the Rays square off against the Orioles in Baltimore. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Budweiser returns on May 18th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Carpenter 0 for 4 in this one. 2 lineouts to center, a strikeout looking, and a ground out to first. And 1 here to Carpenter. John Jay at second. Descalso at first. Jay with the go-ahead RBI single to bring in Shane Robinson. Slider's pulled foul, and it's no balls and 2 strikes here to Carpenter. You know, you mentioned before it's the unheralded guys doing the damage in this game here for the Cardinals, especially at late. It seems like that's been the case all year, or the trend is everyone thinks that it's the big names who get it done. But think back to even last year, the World Series and the run for the Giants. I mean, they have a couple of big names, but it's the team getting it done. And this is a team here, a big reason why they're the best record in the National League.
Well, they're deep. And they don't rely on production from just 1 or 2 guys. You know, it's not a sink or swim with, you know, the number 3 hitter, the number 4 hitter. They play the game the right way. They have, like I said, for me, the Cardinals, they give you a tough at bat, every single player. There's not 3 pitches, go sit down, and that wears on the other team.
1-2, chase the fastball. 2 away here in the 9th.
Well, this is just a good hard fastball out over the plate, up in the zone. I mean, that's tough to catch up to at 90 miles an hour when you're throwing as hard as Henderson. Almost next to impossible.
Does it amaze you how many guys in baseball now bring it 95 or higher?
That's commonplace. I mean, I had a conversation with somebody the other day about 90 miles an hour used to be the standard when I was a little guy. When I was a kid, oh, somebody throws 90. Whoa, man. 90 now is a finesse guy.
No balls, 1 strike here to Beltran. The first 3 hitters in the order for the Cardinals today, 0 for 13. And yet they have 10 hits and 7 runs in the game.
Again, it's like we were just talking about. You're not relying on 1 or 2 guys.
The 1-1 to Beltran. Back foot slider. 2-1. Ty Wigginton in the on deck circle would hit in the place of the pitcher. Again, Edward Mujica's warming up out there in the bullpen, the closer for the Cardinals.
And if it stays at a 1-run differential in that bottom of the 9th, Ryan Braun will lead off for the Brewers. Betancourt and Weeks get your 3, 4, and 5 hitters. This game's still far away from being over.
The 2-1. Slider, and Beltran could not hold up. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, you see that pitch, that slider down and in. It's, as you call, back foot slider. It's really tough for a left-hander to get to. Bury that in on his heel.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on. Top of the 9th, 1-run game. 2-2. Got him. Swing at the fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Henderson to end the 9th inning. But the Cardinals go up on top. Ryan Braun will lead things off in the bottom half of the ninth. Presented by Budweiser. Bottom of the ninth inning. The closer, Edward Mujica, in for the Cardinals. 7 for 7 in save opportunities. His team has handed him a 1-run lead to face the heart of the order. Ryan Braun, Yuniesky Betancourt, and Ricky Weeks.
Hey, look at the defense. They're playing no doubles. Look at the line. Third baseman Carpenter near the line. Outfield playing deep.
First pitch swinging is Braun. 0-1.
Mujica, when he gets ahead of you, he's going to go with that off-speed pitch. It's a split finger changeup sort of thing. That's what all these Brewer hitters are going to see if they get behind. He's been effective.
No balls and 2 strikes.
And there it was. You just saw it. Bottom just drops out of it. Watch it, starts up, and then whoop.
You know it's a tough pitch to hit when it's a tough pitch to catch.
Yeah. But it almost has knuckleball-like action.
0-2 is outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Same sort of pitch right there.
One-two, right back to Mujica. Nice play. 1 away. Time for the Burger King plays of the game. It's John Jay. Hit that 3-run home run in the second. And then he came through with a go-ahead RBI single in the ninth. A career-high 4 RBIs on the afternoon. 1 out now for Yuniesky Betancourt, who's 1 for 4. Single back in the first. Has flown out to center and 2 ground outs. And he fouls the first pitch off.
Yeah, Mujica's done nothing but throw that split finger pitch. Every pitch. Again, if you're trying to hit that, you've got to hope that he throws it high. You know, and it just drops down into the strike zone. If he's throwing that at your waist, that's going to drop down to your knees, and it's just tough to hit.
See, like that?
Yeah, that's just not really fair, actually, if you're a hitter.
Oh, and 2 here at Betancourt. Foul ball, that out off the face, off the ricochet.
Again, you see Molina wants it down low, and it hits the ground and shoots up. Kind of a double whammy there.
Weeks on deck. The 0-2. Line down the left field line, but foul. The producer of today's game is Carol Langley. The director is Bill Webb. The associate director is Aaron Stoikoff. And the broadcast associate is Jordan Harrison. The technical director is Paul Harvath, and our tech manager is Dawn Esposito. The pregame show is produced by Ethan Kleinberg and directed by Mark Deaver. Our statisticians, Scott Lightman, Wayne Fiddleman, and Thomas Gellett. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Bottom of the 9th inning. 7-6 ball game. Justin Kutcher alongside Eric Karros here, and this one has been a lot of fun back and forth ever since the 6th inning. Another 0-2. Ground ball to third base. Carpenter. 2 outs.
Well, Carpenter doing a nice job, and remember, he started over at second base, and he's had a number of plays. Started a double play over at third. Again, just showing the versatility of this Cardinal ball club. There's Matt. He didn't do it with the bat today, but contributed defensively.
Turned that nice double play against Gene Segura in the 8th inning. That 5-5-3 double play. Weeks walked his last time up. Takes the fastball outside for ball 1.
That was just a show me fastball, so here come all the split fingers. And that wasn't, as you notice, that wasn't even close for a strike. That's the only one Weeks is going to see, is my guess. Well, another one way out of the zone.
On deck is Carlos Gomez. If Weeks can get on, Gomez represents the winning run.
Here comes the splitty.
There you go. So your philosophy with this splitter, is it kind of like a knuckleball? If it's high, let it fly. If it's low, let it go?
Ideally. Yeah. Because again, it's going to drop.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
I mean, with that type of pitch, you're looking more for a zone than you are trying to hit the pitch, because the movement on that is relatively unpredictable. It's going to drop, but you just don't know which way it's going to go. If you're Weeks right now, you spread out, you're just trying to put the ball in play and hope you can get Gomez to the plate. But you've got to shorten up.
2-2 bounce foul. Cardinals and Bruins fans, tune into Fox Sports Midwest and Fox Sports Wisconsin tomorrow for the final game of this series. Coverage starts at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. It's Jaime Garcia versus Marco Estrada. If Uhica can get this final out, the Cardinals will be going for the sweep. Another 2-2. Just missing outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, you got to go with your best pitch right now, and that would be the splitter. Even if you wind up walking, go with the splitter here.
3-2, fouled off.
Did it again. Just haven't seen any good swings this inning against that pitch.
8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Line to right field. Beltran is there, makes the catch, and that'll do it. The Cardinals win this one 7-6, and they take the first 3 games of this 4-game series. Manus gets the win, Henderson the loss, Mujica with the save. For Eric Karros and our entire crew, I am Justin Kutcher saying so long from Milwaukee. Now let's go to Matt Vasgersian in the MLB Network studios.